Piracy.org brings you the real reason streaming pays so little and why it was designed that way. Okay, let's just start right here because, man, does this quote hit home. It just perfectly captures that feeling so many of us have, right? You've got this global reach, literally millions of potential fans, but then the money that comes in at the end of the month, it's just, well, it's pocket lint. It's this huge, frustrating gap between the audience you can reach and what you actually earn. And this leads to what MakingAScene.org calls the streaming trap. It's that nagging feeling that maybe the problem is you. That if you could just figure out the secret sauce, if you could just crack that algorithm, everything would finally click into place. But here's the thing, and this is the whole point of this explainer. It's not you, it's the system. It was never, ever designed for a middle class of artists to actually make a living. And look, that's not just some artist complaining. The UK Parliament even investigated this and concluded the whole market needs a complete reset. So let's really get into how this whole thing was actually designed. Because the problems we're all seeing with streaming, they aren't bugs, they're features. It was built this way on purpose, right from the very beginning. So the big question is, if it wasn't designed to help artists build careers, then what was it designed for? Because once you understand what the platforms really wanted to achieve, it all starts to make a lot more sense. Okay, so take a look at their original blueprint. It was all about a few key things. Get all the music in the world in one place, keep the price super low for everybody, make it really, really easy to use so people don't cancel their subscriptions, and cut stable deals with the big guys, the major labels. Now, what's really interesting here isn't what's on this list, it's what's missing. Do you see help artists build sustainable careers anywhere on there? Nope, wasn't a priority. All right, so with those goals in mind, let's follow the money. This is where things get really crazy, and it all comes down to how the cash is actually paid out. It's a system called pro rata. Think about it like this. When someone buys a vinyl record from you, or even a download, that's a direct sale, right? Their money goes to you for your work. Super simple. But a stream, that's a totally different world. With streaming, all the subscription money from every single user gets dumped into one gigantic pool first. And then, from that massive pot of money, they pay everyone based on their market share. Basically, what percentage of the total streams did you get? And, well, just look at this chart. It is insanely top-heavy. It benefits a tiny, tiny fraction of superstars. We're talking the top 0.4% of artists rake in almost 2/3 of all the money. This is the part that just feels so wrong. Let's say you have a diehard fan. They listen to only you all month long. You'd think their $10 would go to you, right? Wrong. Their money goes into that big pool and ends up helping pay the biggest artists on the entire platform. It's wild. Even SoundCloud admitted that this model, quote, mostly benefits megastars. And who are these megastars getting all the cash? Well, a huge chunk of them aren't even making new music. Get this, a staggering 86% of all streams are for old, back catalog music. So streaming has basically become this giant annuity machine for the people who own the old hits, not a marketplace for new music to thrive. And surprise, surprise, who owns those massive catalogs? Yep, the major labels. They control about 73% of the entire streaming market. So you see how it all fits together. The payment system plus the power of these old catalogs, it's all designed to protect the big guys. It's a system that just makes what's already huge even huger. Okay, so that's a pretty bleak picture, I know, but it's not the end of the story. The good news is people are talking about rewriting the rules. There are other ways to do this, and some are already being tested out in the real world. The most talked about alternative is something called user-centric payouts. And the idea is just, well, it's common sense. It's the simple idea that your $10 a month should be divided up only among the artists that you actually listen to. It puts that direct connection back between the fan and the artist. So here's a quick breakdown of the options. You've got the pro rata system we're stuck with now, which we know benefits the superstars. Then there's user-centric, which helps artists with loyal, niche fan bases. And yeah, platforms like Deezer and SoundCloud have been experimenting with this. And then you have a true direct-to-artist model, often on Web3 platforms like Audius, where fans pay you directly. The big takeaway here, how we do this is a choice. It's not a law of physics. Okay, so this all brings us to the most important question. What can you, as an independent artist, actually do about it right now? Well, it means you have to completely rethink your strategy.
And this quote from makingascene.org absolutely nails it. If you do not own the fan data, then you do not own the relationship. You are building your house on rented land. Think about that for a second. The streaming platforms know everything about your fans, but they don't share any of that deep info with you. So you're building your whole career on their platform, on land you don't actually own. So here's the new game plan. It's a 3-step process. Step 1, use the streaming platforms for what they are actually good for, discovery. Let strangers find your music, but then, and this is crucial, step 2, your number one goal is to move those listeners from their platform to your platform. Get them on your email list, your website, your text message list. And finally, step 3, build your real business on that land that you own. Sell your merch, your tickets, your special memberships directly to the people who love your work. And that really brings us to the final big question you have to ask yourself. Is streaming your business, or is it just your billboard? Maybe the mistake we've all been making is treating it like the store, when really it's just the giant sign on the highway telling people where your real store is. Make sure you check out the other great articles and resources on makingascene.org, the place the indie artist goes to build the new music industry.